Hey thriller fans, welcome back to Thriller Me This. It's May 2025, and let me tell you, this month is stacked with thrillers, mysteries, and horror gems that are guaranteed to keep your heart racing and your brain guessing. Whether you're heading to the theater or staying in with your favorite streaming service, there's something for everyone. So grab a snack, settle in, and let's run through the most suspenseful, chilling, and mind-bending thrillers hitting screens this month. We're kicking things off with Words of War, a powerful British biopic that dropped in limited theaters on May 2nd. This one tells the true story of Russian journalist Anna Politkovskaya, who risked everything to report the brutal truths of the Second Chechen War. Maxine Peake delivers a commanding performance as Anna, capturing both her fierce courage and the tragic weight of her mission. Directed by James Strong, it's a quiet yet deeply unsettling look at the price of truth in a world built on propaganda and fear. Now, if you're more into psychological thrillers and horror, Room 6 is your kind of nightmare fuel. It also landed on May 2nd, and it centers on Max, a college student working the graveyard shift at a rundown motel. Everything seems typical, until two creepy brothers check into the mysterious Room 6. What follows is a descent into darkness that blurs the line between reality and the supernatural. It's eerie, atmospheric, and full of those slow-burn chills that stick with you. Nicolas Cage is back doing what he does best in The Surfer, also released on May 2nd. He returns to his childhood beach town in Australia and finds himself clashing with a group of territorial locals. What starts as a quiet trip home quickly spirals into a psychological war. It's raw, stripped down, and surprisingly tense. Cage is fully in his element, angry, paranoid, and completely captivating. Now over on Prime Video, May 2nd also gave us Another Simple Favor, the sequel to 2018 star comedy thriller A Simple Favor. Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick are back, and this time the chaos follows them to Capri, Italy. Emily's getting married, and Stephanie, now a successful true crime podcaster, is along for the ride. But of course, things don't go smoothly. There are mafia entanglements, a secret triplet, and some deliciously over-the-top twists that make this a stylish, smart, and totally bonkers follow-up. On the same day, we also get Rosario. Now this one really snuck up on me. It's a supernatural horror thriller about a high-powered Wall Street broker named Rosario, played by Emerald Tobia, who inherits her grandmother's New York apartment. But this isn't some sweet, sentimental story. She discovers an occult chamber hidden behind the walls, and what starts as a simple homecoming turns into a deep dive into her family's dark and disturbing past. Director Felipe Vargas delivers plenty of occult imagery, creepy reveals, and that slow-building dread you'll love if you're into films like Hereditary or the others. May 6th brings us something a little more wild with Primal Games. Think The Most Dangerous Game, but with a sci-fi twist. A newlywed couple goes on their honeymoon only to be abducted and thrown into a savage survival contest for the amusement of the world's richest psychopaths. This one's brutal, bloody, and totally unhinged, and if you like your thrillers with teeth, this one's gonna bite. Moving ahead to May 7th, Netflix gives us Last Bullet, the third and final chapter in the Lost Bullet trilogy. Lino is back, and he's on a mission to find Arsky once and for all. You want adrenaline? This movie has it. We're talking souped-up car chases, gritty fight scenes, and a high-stakes revenge plot that delivers pure intensity start to finish. If you haven't seen the first two films, now's the time to catch up. The next day, May 8th, brings us the return of Blood of Zeus, Season 3. This animated Greek mythology epic is one of Netflix's most underrated shows, and this season kicks the action into overdrive. The gods are at war, titans are rising, and Heron is caught in the middle of it all. If you're into ancient mythology with a brutal, bloody twist, this one should be on your list. May 9th is when things get really fun and a little terrifying with Clown in a Cornfield. Based on the hit horror novel, this slasher flick throws a group of high school students into a deadly game with a masked clown named Friendo. It's bloody, fast-paced, and full of that retro slasher energy. Think Scream meets Children of the Corn with a few surprises along the way. Also dropping on May 9th is Cryptic, a strange and cerebral cosmic horror thriller. A woman searching for a missing cryptozoologist starts unraveling her own reality. Chloe Peary plays dual roles, and the film leans hard into that slow, existential dread. Very Annihilation meets Under the Skin. It's weird, beautiful, and disturbing in the best way. On May 15th, we're getting the fourth volume of Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix. These short, animated thrillers are some of the most creative stories being told right now. Expect dinosaur gladiators, prophetic cats, and more jaw-dropping animation. It's the kind of series where each episode is a wild ride on its own, but they all somehow hit hard. Then comes May 16th, and horror thriller fans, you're eating well. Final Destination Bloodlines hits theaters and revives the franchise with new characters, fresh kills, and a deeper look into death's design. This is the 7th film in the series, and it's taking things back to basics while adding some mythology and mystery into the mix. Just don't try to predict the deaths, you won't. Also on May 16th, we got Hurry Up Tomorrow, a psychological thriller with a musical twist starring The Weeknd, Jenna Ortega, and Barry Keoghan. It's weird, stylish, and drenched in synth-pop darkness, directed by Trey Edward Schultz. We follow a musician spiraling into a surreal mental breakdown, and the result is unlike anything else releasing this year. On May 20th, Sinners hits digital. This one's a slow-burn, Southern Gothic horror piece set in 1930s Mississippi. Michael B. Jordan plays twin brothers who return to their hometown and uncover a demonic evil buried in their family history. Ryan Coogler directs, and the mix of historical drama and supernatural dread is haunting, poetic, and powerful. Then on May 21st, Disney Plus drops 9 Puzzles, a Korean psychological crime thriller. It's about a profiler who survived a brutal crime 10 years ago and is now working with a detective to solve a series of murders linked to her past. It's intense, emotional, and full of twisty investigative drama. On May 22nd, Netflix releases Sirens, a limited series starring Julianne Moore, Megan Fahey, and Millie Alcock. This dark comedy thriller takes place over one twisted weekend at a luxurious beach estate, and things unravel fast. Secrets, betrayals, obsession. It's like Big Little Lies with an even sharper bite. And then there's Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, arriving May 23rd. Tom Cruise is back as Ethan Hunt in what promises to be the epic conclusion to the franchise. You already know the stunts will be death-defying and the story packed with espionage, double crosses, and globetrotting action. Also on May 23rd, Netflix is dropping Fear Street, Prom Queen, set in 1988 and following a group of teens as a series of murders rocks their school right before prom. It's classic slasher horror with that Fear Street flair. Perfect for fans of Scream, and I Know What You Did Last Summer, and don't forget to watch the trilogy of Fear Street films on Netflix. Coming out on May 29th, The Better Sister is a psychological thriller that delves into the complexities of family dynamics, secrets, and betrayal. Starring Jessica Biel and Elizabeth Banks as estranged sisters Chloe and Nikki, the series explores how their lives become intertwined following the brutal murder of Chloe's husband Adam. As the investigation unfolds, deep-seated family secrets emerge, challenging the sisters' strained relationship and forcing them to confront their pasts. With its intense narrative and complex characters, The Better Sister promises to be a must-watch for fans of suspenseful dramas. And finally, rounding out the month on May 30th is The Phoenician Scheme. Details are under wraps, but we know it's a neo-noir espionage thriller featuring government secrets, assassins, and an elite conspiracy. Just the kind of paranoia-laced thriller you want to close the month on. The Phoenician Scheme, starring Benicio del Toro as one of the richest men in Europe. The film weaves a plot of intrigue and suspense, keeping audiences guessing until the very end. So that's May 2025, a full-on buffet of thrills, chills, action, and horror, just the way we like it. Let me know in the comments what you're most excited to watch, and if there's anything you want me to break down or dive deeper into. And hey, if you like this roundup, hit that like button, subscribe to Thriller Me This, and I'll see you next time with more mystery, suspense, and adrenaline-pumping content. Until then, keep your lights low, your heart rate high, and stay out of the shadows.